I'm so pissed. Dear husband is showering and left his phone out so I can clean up his email inbox. And mother-in-law texted him, "Dear husband, going back to the conversation we had last Friday, I strongly believe you shouldn't let OP get an epidural. Look how dear son 1 behaves. That is due to the epidural and the long-term mental effects those drugs have. You do not want dear son 2 behaving that way. Please be a man and do not allow her to get one. Like B, my body, my rules. Our dear son 1 is hyper, healthy, and not beaten and regimented. He's a little wild and stubborn, won't hug or interact with people he doesn't know well, and independent. He's also 2 years old. She had epidurals with all 5 of her kids. Her daughters and other daughter-in-law had epidurals. Why the duck am I supposed to take the pain? I don't know what to do or say. Do I confront her? Do I wait and see what dear husband says?" So after dear husband got out of the shower, I asked him how he felt about me getting an epidural and if there were any issues. He said he doesn't care as long as it's what I want, since I'm the one pushing out the watermelon. I told him that while I was cleaning up his emails, his mom texted and I read the message, and I was really upset by what I read and that they had discussed it and kept it from me. He said it wasn't a discussion, more of his mom digging for information that he didn't give her about what hospital we'll be at, what the visiting situation would be, and out of nowhere, she had started saying that epidurals and pain medication aren't necessary. Husband had told her originally it wasn't anyone's but my decision since I was the one that it directly affected, and if I wanted one, he would support me. She kept pushing. He told her it wasn't up for discussion and hung up on her. He read the text she sent this morning and was pissed. The message he sent to her, "Mom, that's not very Christ-like to say something is wrong with our son when you have no evidence. You're a hypocrite. All the women in our family, including you, have used epidurals and drugs during labor. This is not up for discussion. You will drop it, or I will be going and having a very personal discussion about your behavior toward my wife with your bishop." It's attack of the flying monkeys. Poor dear husband. We all slept in today, and the absolute vitriol we received is just sickening. He received a massive influx of hate texts from his siblings for being a jackass, having his balls in his wife's purse, letting the bee lead him around by the leash, etc. You can see the theme. My Facebook Messenger wasn't much different either. A lot of dear husband's family were calling me homewrecker and saying that I am trash. So he called his dad and asked what was going on and why he and I were receiving such hate so early in the morning. I'm furious. Mother-in-law didn't like the way dear husband shut her down, so she went to all his siblings and extended family and lied. The gist of her victimhood. Dear husband is cutting her out of his life. He never said that, but is now strongly considering it. She was only trying to look after our kids because I'm a D addict and will harm them and my squish with my bad decisions. Because I want an epidural, I'm a D addict, but her having it for all her pregnancies and her daughters having it for all their pregnancies are fine. I'm trying to keep dear son 1 and dear husband from her. I don't even know. Dear husband doesn't visit because he works 70+ hours a week and wants to spend his day off with us. I made dear husband threaten harm to her? I think this is referring to the bishop, but I did not make a grown-ass man say any of that. Dear husband is an adult, sentient being that makes his own decisions. I don't allow dear husband to talk to her? He doesn't want to talk to her anymore. I never told him he can't talk to his mom. I only asked him to not tell her any of my medical information. I'm evil and possessed and have tainted her son against her. Not Mormon, raised Hindu, currently agnostic. Thank God for father-in-law. He didn't buy any of her crap and was waiting to talk to us to get our side of the story before getting involved. Dear husband sent him a screenshot of the text conversation and told him exactly what the conversation was about on Friday. Father-in-law is pissed. Mother-in-law has a history of lying and over-exaggerating to garner sympathy. Dear husband does not. Father-in-law said he will contact the extended family and let them know the truth. Dear husband didn't feel that was enough. He sent the screenshot to his siblings and said, "If you feel this is appropriate of mom to say, block me now." He sent me the screenshot and told me to send it to each of the family that messaged hate and told me to tell them if this is the type of person they support to block us both and never contact us again. Dear husband also called mother-in-law's bishop and laid down everything that's happened the last 2 years with mother-in-law and everything she's done to me and the dear son one. The bishop was shocked and said he will be contacting mother-in-law. Mother-in-law and fam are Mormon. Dear husband is ex-Mormon but still close to the bishop. The bishop asked us to forward screenshot of all the hate messages from mother-in-law and family we've received, which dear husband is finishing up doing as there is a lot. So that was our morning. A couple of apologies have come in from extended family after father-in-law talked to them along with the screenshot I sent them. But a lot of harsh and terrible things were said to me and about my character. I really don't want to forgive them. I haven't responded or opened anything from these people. I just want a giant plate of cookies and ice cream. Dear husband's siblings have gone radio silent since he texted them the screenshot. No apology or anything. He's pretty hurt by it, but not much we can do. Extended family, we realize it was all the older members in dear husband's family that attacked us, has been blowing up our phones with apologies and shifting blame and how they didn't mean it and were just trying to defend mother-in-law. Not very many actually seem sincere. There are a couple that admit they were wrong to attack us without talking to us. I ran into dear husband's older cousin today, and she was shocked about the whole thing. She wasn't any of the extended family that messaged us hate. She tried to apologize for her mom, who sent some very effed up stuff. But I told her I wasn't in a very forgiving mood and would rather deal with hurt directly with her mom and not her, since me and her don't have any bad blood. I also showed her what her mom said. It probably was petty of me, but in the moment, it felt like the right thing to do, and I didn't want her getting some fluff version from her mom trying to downplay what they had said. As for the bishop, he's pretty cool. A lot of the extended family aren't in the same ward, so he's focusing on mother-in-law and siblings because they are in his ward. Father-in-law called us and let us know the bishop contacted mother-in-law and she is going to go through a disciplinary council. They revoked something and she can't go into temples now, and will be going through disfellowship, or it was a potential punishment. I'm not too sure if this has happened or what will potentially be happening. Any ex-Mormons or current Mormons know what any of this means or how this works? She called dear husband's phone 22 times, left 18 voicemails, and sent him 54 texts. She also called my phone 5 times, left me 1 voicemail, and texted me 13 times. We haven't answered or opened anything from her. I plan to go no contact with mother-in-law until the birth and possibly my whole maternity leave. And we were supposed to go to Christmas party with dear husband's family this year, but dear husband doesn't want to, so we are going to tag along with my parents to Texas to visit my family. Mother-in-law in all her wonderful glory tried to barge into our home at 7 a.m. 7? What the duck? Dear son 1 doesn't even wake up till 9. It's almost 1 now. We changed the locks last year because she would never ask. Just come by whenever she wanted, grab something of ours, say she'll bring it back after she's done, and then forget. This is a woman that won't visit but 2 times a year with our dear son 1, but will commandeer our stuff. Dear husband changed the locks after she stampeded on us, going ham on the couch. So she was very surprised she couldn't just walk in, and I almost had a heart attack thanks to her bashing and beating the poor door handle. I almost blasted her. I thought we were being broken into. Poor dear son 1 ended up a tearful tantrumy mess, and now is cranky as F. I'm so done with this woman. I didn't open the door. Dear husband, in all of his wonderful boxer glory, told her to get the duck out. She still tried to push her way into our home and was yelling that she absolutely needed to talk to us and were being so rude and awful for not responding to her messages and calls. We're also breaking her heart. She didn't raise dear husband to be like this. We're hurting dear son 1 by hurting her. She also is adamant that we misunderstood what she meant about the epidural. She's only looking out for us. We're family, and she loves us. We just take everything she says the wrong way. She has no idea why her family said such vile things to me and dear husband. She didn't turn dear husband's siblings against him. We shouldn't have gone to the bishop, as this was all just a big misunderstanding, and if she's ever hurt us, she's sorry we took it that way. She can't control how others perceive what she says when she is venting. There was a lot more that she spewed I didn't catch, and then there was hysterical crying and tears. I literally thought someone was dying or having a heart attack or an appendix was bursting and ran out to check what the F was going on, and I didn't realize I still had my concealed carry with me. and she saw that and started screaming that I was going to M her. It was still in its holster and in my jammy pocket. The handle was the only thing showing. Dear husband told her to leave by the count of 10, or he'd call the police. He got to 7 before she actually turned tail and left. I got a lecture on proper firearm handling, carrying. In my defense, I originally thought we were being broken into and then realized it was mother-in-law, and then got busy trying to calm down an upset, terrified toddler. That aside, this psycho hose beast, instead of driving home or somewhere else, she drove to my parents' house. To break this down, she drove 20 minutes north to us, then drove 10 minutes north to my parents. I'm freaking livid. My younger siblings and mom were home. They didn't open the door, and I've kept them updated about everything this bee has put me through. My sister did open the window and recorded mother-in-law screaming and crying about what an awful person I am, and how I've ruined her life and her family's life, and that I'm pure evil and my family is trash and should never have come to this country. Mom called the police, though. That was awesome. They didn't cuff her or anything, but she was told to leave. And mother-in-law, in all her glory, said this was a big misunderstanding and that my mom and her are friends and mother-in-law's just here to visit. She did leave, no idea where she is or who she's harassing next. But our security cameras caught everything, video and sound. My sister caught everything on her phone. So dear husband forwarded all the videos to the bishop, his dad, and siblings, and it's uploaded on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, with a caption saying that his mother is going through something and needs prayer. It's been a tough morning, and it's just going to be a tougher day. We'll update as the day goes on. Contacted my dad's lawyer about the conceal, but since we're in Utah and they are super pro home self-defense, all's good. Our lawyer did say we don't have a need to contact the police or offer any of the videos up unless requested, if mother-in-law tries to press charges. He's also drafting a cease and desist letter from my parents and myself to send to mother-in-law. We were originally going to talk about a restraining order, but father-in-law begged us to wait and see what happens after the disciplinary council. We tried seeing if we could put her in psych hold, but she's not considered a danger to herself or others. I'm kinda pissed about this. There is something wrong with that woman, and she needs professional help. So yes, dear husband did post a couple of the videos on social media, but his social media is private, close family only, and his settings are strict, so no sharing and no friends of friends can see them. He did take the Snapchat and Instagram ones down after father-in-law asked him to. We're leaving the Facebook ones up, especially because if we don't, we will have crazy family listening to whatever BS mother-in-law pulls out of her hose and coming to attack us again. This way we cut out the harassment. If it shames mother-in-law, oh well. Father-in-law also dragged all of dear husband's siblings over to our house for a little family come to Jesus meeting. We did get some apologies, but the damage has been done, and dear husband told them we are strongly considering cutting them out of our lives for good. Aside from dear husband spilling his grievances against them and all the crap they pulled and said, all of which was reiterated in front of father-in-law, who gave each and every one of them the look. They all agree something is very, very, very wrong with mother-in-law and want us as a family to sit her down after the disciplinary council and discuss her going to therapy. I have opted out. The last thing I want to do is be in the same room as that woman. I also told them I am going no contact for the remainder of my pregnancy and probably much longer. Stuff that pissed me off during the family meeting? 1. Younger sister-in-law tried to say I was wrong for pulling a gun on mother-in-law, showing her all the videos and made her point to where I ever pulled the gun out. I never did. Admitted she was wrong, but her mom had told I did. 2. Tried to say we were also in the wrong for how we treated mother-in-law. When asked what we specifically did that was wrong against her and not in defense of what she said or did, they had no response. 3. Originally tried to say we were being oversensitive about the epidural remark. Dear husband ripped them a new one. Between the hypocrisy and dissing our dear son one, they finally realized the disconnect and how hurtful what she said actually was. 4. They admitted what they said was wrong, but in the moment they felt justified. When asked why they didn't come and talk to us, they said they just wanted to support mother-in-law because she was so upset. When asked why they didn't apologize after we sent them the actual messages and videos, They had no response. 5. They tried to make excuses for mother-in-law showing up and trying to break in. When asked if they would be happy if mother-in-law tried to get in their houses at 7 a.m. with no warning or permissions, they then admitted it was wrong of her. 6. Tried to downplay mother-in-law harassing my family. When shown the video, admitted maybe was becoming a little unhinged. 7. Got pissed at us when we said we would no longer assisting them in any way. We were helping to watch younger sister-in-law's kids because mother-in-law noped out and said it was too hard, too much to handle. We were helping fund younger brother-in-law's schooling because mother-in-law withdrew her financial assistance because she wanted a new car. We were helping with projects around the house to fix the damage mother-in-law had done when she stayed with older brother-in-law for 6 months. We were helping older sister-in-law with her business that mother-in-law forced her to start with the promise of helping her, then ditched halfway through because it was a financial burden and boring. I told them specifically, since mother-in-law and her word is so much more important, we won't be assisting them. Mother-in-law is going to be great help for them. Done. All the support and help and nice things we did, we're totally sure mother-in-law will step up and help right. Because based on history, she is so much help. The only person we're going to continue to help is father-in-law with his doctor stuff, since mother-in-law can't be bothered to drive him to his appointments or pick up his prescriptions. Is it petty of us to withdraw our help? Probably. But they hurt my dear husband and couldn't be bothered to give a sincere no BS apology.